Hello everyone, welcome to Mortem Files. Today, we're diving deep into another chilling case study, so stay with me as we uncover the truth. Fame is a mask, a shimmering illusion that hides the cracks beneath it, and sometimes the monsters too. For years, Ian Watkins wore that mask perfectly. He wasn't just a singer, he was a phenomenon. A voice that ignited stages, a face that charmed millions, a man adored by fans who believed they knew him. But they didn't. Behind the tattoos, the eyeliner, and the electric performances, there was something else. Something cold, something calculating, something no one wanted to believe could exist inside someone so adored. Ian David Carslake Watkins, born in 1977 in Merthyr Tydfil, South Wales, a small town that would one day be remembered not for its beauty, but for the monster it produced. As a child, Watkins was quiet, intelligent, and ambitious. He grew up dreaming of music, of fame, of becoming someone. And when Lostprophets was born in the late 1990s, that dream didn't just come true. It exploded. Lostprophets became one of the biggest British rock bands of their era. Watkins' voice was their identity. Raw, emotional, commanding. He sang about rebellion, pain, freedom. Words that millions of teenagers clung to as their own. His lyrics became an anthem for the misunderstood, and his smile, a promise that he understood their struggle. But the truth was darker than any song he ever wrote. Behind closed doors, Watkins was cultivating something vile. While the world saw a rock icon, he saw opportunity. A stage not just for music, but for manipulation. He used fame like a weapon, adoration like a leash, and the line between admiration and obsession blurred until it was unrecognizable. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew the kind of power he had, over fans, over their trust, over their blind devotion. And he would use that power to feed his darkest desires. Even in the band, some felt something was off. The sudden mood swings, the controlling nature, the moments of arrogance that crossed into something sinister. But no one dared to question him. Not the record label, not the fans, not even the people closest to him. After all, Ian Watkins was a star, and stars aren't supposed to fall. The higher he climbed, the darker he became. As fame grew, so did his ego and his addiction. Cocaine, meth, power. He began surrounding himself with enablers, people who looked up to him, worshipped him, and would do anything for his attention. Anything. By the mid-2000s, the mask had already started to slip. The once inspirational frontman had turned erratic. Shows were canceled. Rumors spread, but the fans dismissed it. They said he was struggling, maybe depressed, maybe just a rock star living the fast life. But no one imagined what was truly happening behind the closed doors of his luxury apartments and backstage hotel rooms. Because the truth wasn't just about drugs or fame. It was about a growing obsession. An obsession with control, with dominance, with corruption. It began with messages, private chats, flirtations that turned into something darker. Watkins started using social media to contact his fans, mostly young women. Fans who idolized him, trusted him, would have done anything to feel noticed. And he knew it. He played them like instruments. Every word a note. Every compliment a hook. Every command a test of obedience. Until one day, it wasn't just about them. It became about what or who they could give him access to. His private world was descending into depravity, but on stage, he remained untouchable. The lights, the roar of the crowd, the echo of thousands chanting his name. It kept the illusion alive. No one suspected a thing. Not the fans, not the band, not even the people who loved him the most. And yet, behind every cheer, every song, every photo taken by an adoring fan, there was a predator smiling back. A man who wasn't just performing for the crowd, but hiding from it. Evil doesn't always come screaming out of the dark. Sometimes It walks on stage, smiles, and sings your favorite song. By 2010, Ian Watkins was living two lives. To the world, a troubled rock icon. Behind closed doors, something unspeakable. He began sending increasingly dark messages to female fans and even mothers, coercing them into acts no one could comprehend. He wasn't hiding anymore. He believed he was untouchable. He bragged that his fame made him above the law. Between 2008 and 2011, fans and ex-girlfriends repeatedly warned the police, bringing screenshots and evidence. But every report was dismissed as fan gossip. Watkins continued, confident that no one would stop him. Then came 2012. A routine drug raid in his hotel room turned into the discovery of nightmares. Laptops, phones, and drives filled with hundreds of videos and thousands of images. Evidence so horrifying that investigators could barely look at the screens. Even the password on one of his files was a confession. I f*** kids. In an instant, the illusion shattered. The headlines spread like wildfire. Lostprophets Ian Watkins arrested for child sex offenses. The world froze in disbelief. The man who once sang to crowds of children was now exposed as one of Britain's darkest predators. As details emerged, they were beyond imagination. He had recorded the abuse. He had planned it. He had even involved two mothers who betrayed their own children to please him. This wasn't impulse. It was a system of control, a cult of manipulation built entirely around his ego. Lostprophets disbanded overnight. Their songs were erased from playlists, their albums pulled from stores. The world tried to erase his existence, but the damage was already done. His victims would carry the scars forever. In court, Watkins remained cold, detached, and unremorseful. Prosecutors called him a manipulative predator of extraordinary depravity. The courtroom fell silent as his crimes were read aloud. 13 counts, including the attempted rape of an 11-month-old baby. He was sentenced to 29 years in prison, with 6 more on license. A lifetime behind bars for a lifetime of horror. But even prison couldn't completely silence him. Inside HMP Wakefield, one of Britain's most notorious prisons, Watkins lived in isolation, constantly watched, constantly feared. Inmates despised him. He rarely spoke, paranoia consuming his days. In that world, fame meant nothing. Respect had to be earned or taken. Then, in August 2023, nearly a decade into his sentence, Watkins was attacked, stabbed, and beaten by fellow inmates. He survived, but the message was clear. No one escapes justice forever. Weeks later, that warning became prophecy. One morning, guards found Watkins dead in his cell. The official statements were vague. Non-life-threatening injuries, under investigation. But everyone knew the truth. In prison, predators like him never truly survive. Across Britain, reactions were divided. Some called it karma. Others saw it as failure, that even justice couldn't protect the guilty from vengeance. But amid the noise, one truth remained. The victims were the only ones who truly mattered. Their innocence stolen, their lives forever scarred, and all by a man the world once called a hero. From platinum albums to prison walls, Ian Watkins' story is not just about his crimes. It's a warning that evil can wear a smile, that fame can disguise horror, and that no matter how loud the applause, the silence behind the curtain can hide the darkest truths. The idol is gone. The music is silenced. And justice, though late, finally found its voice. Stay safe, stay kind, and keep your eyes open.